You're not tired because life is hard. You're tired because you've been performing a version of yourself that doesn't exist, and the performance is killing you. I'm going to show you the 3 realizations that free men from the exhaustion of pretending. This isn't about adding more discipline or achieving more success. This is about finally letting go of the character you've been playing. By the end, you'll understand why your depression isn't a flaw, but a signal, and how to stop drowning in the gap between who you are and who you think you need to be. And if you stay until the end, I'll reveal the one shift that turns suffering from something that happens to you into something that frees you.
Welcome back to Deeper Dudes. But first, let's talk about why most men are walking around exhausted despite doing everything right. You're hitting the gym, building the career, reading the books, optimizing your morning routine, checking every box society told you matters. And yet there's this persistent emptiness you can't quite name. It's not burnout from working too hard. It's something deeper. It's the weight of maintaining an image that doesn't match the reality behind your eyes. Research shows that men experience depression at rates far higher than reported because we've been conditioned to perform strength even when we're falling apart inside. We smile at the office, hit our numbers, show up for our families, and inside, we're drowning. What a load of crap that we've been told the solution is to work harder, push through, add another morning habit, read another self-help book. The actual problem isn't that you're not doing enough, it's that you've been adding layers to yourself, trying to become someone the world will finally accept, and the performance is exhausting you. Nobody teaches us that the version of ourselves we present to the world is just that, a version, a character, a role we're playing so convincingly that we've forgotten there's someone behind it. Jim Carrey, one of the most successful entertainers in history, spent decades making the world laugh while privately drowning. And he described depression not as a chemical malfunction, but as the body demanding deep rest from the character it had been forced to play. Think about that. Your exhaustion isn't laziness. It's your system screaming for permission to stop pretending. He used this metaphor. You're like the Wizard of Oz. The world sees this powerful projection, this impressive image of who you're supposed to be, the successful one, the strong one, the one who has it all figured out. But you're actually the sweaty guy behind the curtain, desperately pulling levers to maintain the illusion, terrified someone will pull back the curtain and see that Oz was always just a character, and you were always just a person trying to survive. Most men live their entire lives behind that curtain. The gap between the image you project and the reality you experience is where depression lives. Not in some chemical imbalance, not in some moral failing, but in the unbearable distance between who you are and who you think the world needs you to be. When I was building my first business, I became obsessed with looking like someone who had it all together. I posted the wins on social media, talked confidently in meetings, dressed the part, and every night I'd sit in my apartment staring at the ceiling feeling like a fraud because the person I was pretending to be during the day wasn't the person I actually was when I was alone. That split, that constant performance, drained me more than any amount of actual work ever could. But here's the truth that changes everything. If it's so easy to lose yourself inside a role, then who are you really? That question isn't philosophical nonsense, it's the doorway to freedom. Because once you start asking it, you realize that the exhaustion isn't coming from life being too hard, it's coming from pretending to be someone you're not. And once you see that, everything shifts. This leads directly into the first realization that breaks the performance trap. Before we go any further, I want to pause for something important. None of what we've been talking about matters if we don't have the energy and clarity to actually implement it. We all know what it feels like to wake up exhausted. No energy, poor focus, and zero motivation. We also know what it feels like when we get good, restful sleep,
targeted therapy and the right supplements.
I've personally tested more things than you can imagine. I'm like your personal guinea pig. Everything I have listed in the description below is science-backed and extensively tested. And if you grab anything through my links, you'll be supporting this channel at zero cost to you. Thanks for taking a look. Now let's get back to it. If this is resonating, hit that like button so more men can find it when they need it. And drop a comment. What version of yourself have you been performing? No judgment, just truth. Here's what most people miss about depression and exhaustion. Thought itself is responsible for most of the suffering you experience. Not your circumstances, not your childhood, not the hand life dealt you, but the constant mental narrative you're running about who you should be, what you should have achieved, and how you're falling short.
Bigger than the identity you've been constructing for the world. Most men never discover this because they're too busy trying to fix the character instead of realizing they're not the character at all. When you start to observe your thoughts instead of being your thoughts, something profound happens. You realize that sadness comes, happiness comes. It's weather that flies by the sky. It doesn't sit on you long enough to drown you unless you grab onto it and make it mean something about who you are. The difference is everything. One man experiences sadness and thinks, I am broken. Another man experiences the exact same sadness and thinks, I am experiencing sadness right now, and it will pass. Same emotion, completely different relationship to it. The first man drowns. The second man watches the weather change. This is the awakening. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not the story you've been telling yourself about who you're supposed to be. You are the awareness behind all of it, and that awareness has always been enough. When you stop taking life personally, when you stop experiencing everything as something happening to you and start seeing it as something happening for you, the peaks and valleys don't disappear, but they stop defining you. A practical example, you lose a job. The performing self says, I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, everyone will see I'm a fraud. That story creates suffering that has nothing to do with the actual event. But when you see it from the bigger perspective, you think, I lost a job. That's uncomfortable. What can I learn? What's next? Same event, no added suffering. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. It's not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of events. Modern psychology confirms it. Cognitive reframing, the ability to change the story you tell about what happens to you, is one of the most powerful predictors of resilience and mental health.
But here's where it gets even deeper. The reason you've been performing your whole life probably isn't random. Most men who exhaust themselves maintaining an image learned early that their real self wasn't acceptable. Maybe your father was critical. Maybe your mother was anxious and you learned to be the strong one to relieve her suffering. Maybe you were bullied and decided you'd never be vulnerable again. So you built a character, the successful one, the tough one, the funny one, the reliable one. And that character worked. It got you approval. It got you safety. It got you through. But at some point, the character that protected you became the prison that's suffocating you. One man realized after decades of entertaining people that his entire career was built on trying to relieve his mother's suffering.
And he saw that this wasn't wrong. It was actually aligned with something deeper. All personal growth, all spirituality, all purpose is ultimately about relieving suffering, your own and others. When you find that your purpose is aligned with relieving suffering, including your own, you feel incredibly lucky. Even when ego pulls your attention elsewhere, you can come back to that North Star. This is the path forward, and it runs opposite to everything you've been told. You've been told to add to yourself. Get more discipline, achieve more success, build more muscle, read more books, optimize more systems. And there's nothing wrong with growth, but if you're using growth to finally become acceptable, you're stuck in the trap. Because the premise is flawed. You are always already enough underneath the performance. The relief you're looking for isn't at the end of more achievement. It's in the letting go of the belief that you need to achieve anything to be worthy of peace.
Stop reaching for the stars when you already are one. That's not feel-good nonsense. That's the recognition that your value as a human being was never tied to your productivity, your success, your image, or your performance. It was inherent. The exhaustion lifts when you stop trying to earn what was always yours. A practical shift. Notice the difference between a house and my house. It's the my that creates the suffering. When you stop owning everything, when you stop making every outcome a reflection of your worth, life gets lighter. You still work hard, you still care, but you're not carrying the weight of your identity on every result. The final realization is this: depression, exhaustion, that persistent emptiness, they're not signs you're broken, they're signals that you've been living as a character instead of a person. And the moment you stop performing and start being, the moment you let the curtain drop and stop pretending Oz is real, you discover something unexpected.
The real you, the one you've been hiding, is more than enough, not because you're special, but because being human, flawed, tired, uncertain, and real is the only thing that was ever required. When you combine all three realizations, first, that the performance is the problem, not the solution. Second, that you are not your thoughts, but the awareness experiencing them. And third, that relief comes from letting go, not adding more. This is how men move from exhaustion to peace, not by becoming something more impressive, but by finally being who they actually are. Drop a comment. Which realization hit you hardest? That you've been performing, that you're not your thoughts, or that you were always already enough? And what version of yourself are you ready to stop playing? Well, that's it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it helpful, please be sure to give it a like and maybe even subscribe to Deeper Dudes. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. It all helps the channel more than you know, and it also tells us that we should make more content like this. We post videos every other day that tackle real challenges men face. Remember, struggling doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. The fact that you took time to watch this means you're ready for something better. Thanks again for watching and for checking out all the amazing products in the description below. They could jumpstart your healing journey. Catch you in the next one, Deeper Dudes. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, keep thriving.